This next project is going to be another Android application, and we're going to be creating a dice game called Farkle. So the idea with this is that you have 6 dice that you roll, and what you do is you score dice based on a series of scoring things down here. The basics are if you get triple ones, or 4 of a kind, or 5 or 6, whatever it is, you're going to get points, triple 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. And then if you have single 1s or 5s, you get to score those dice. And those dice become locked. Then you have the option of either taking that score and keeping it towards your total, or you can roll the dice again and try and score more points. If you manage to score with all 6 dice, if you start over again, that allows you to unlock all the dice and keep on going if you want to. However, if you ever reach a point where you roll the dice and you can't score any of them, you lose all of the points you've accumulated so far. So that's the idea of Farkle. So to begin with, I need to do the layout. I'm going to be creating 6 image buttons for this particular project, and I'm going to have 3 buttons: roll, score, and stop. And I'm also going to have text views, which are much like labels, that are going to be setting up the what my current score is, what round it is, and what my total score is. So I'm going to create a new Android application. Android Farkle. Keep that at least. Next. That's fine. I suppose I could change this. I happen to have images that I've already used. There we go. And a blank activity. So something I should mention real quick is this area called Drawables. So in the resources folder, all of these things are called Drawables. What this does is these are the various density settings that you can set different pictures to. So ideally, if you were creating this for a number of different kinds of devices, you would have really high resolution pictures for the really high resolution screens. I don't. I just have these things here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and put them into a project. So let's see. So I just pasted them in there. You might not need to put this in every one, but I'm paranoid, so I'm going to. So I've put all of the various images in there. So now, much like when you're referring to a layout or an ID, you can refer to a drawable by its name. All right, so we're going to be using a table layout again, and then we're going to be using image buttons. So I want a linear layout. I need to set the Android orientation. This will do autofill, right? Yes, it will. Orientation, that one. Is vertical. I'm going to do a table layout, so a table row. Do a table row, and then I will be putting an image button in. And then I'll be repeating this 3 times for each of the images. All right, so that's kind of the general layout. I need to put in all the properties. But then one thing I need to do here is I need to put in the source of the image. So I've actually provided for you in the README in Android the Farkle layout that I've used before. So right now I'm doing wrap content for the layout width and height for the layout and the row. And then when I get to the source, that's where I set the drawable. So let's go ahead and do the Android layout. Layout width. Wrap parent. Or I'm sorry, wrap content. And then the Android layout height. Wrap content. And these are the same values for the table rows. I need to set the ID here. And the ID is going to be similar to what we did before with buttons. So you do the @ plus ID plus the name of the particular button. I'm just going to go with these default ones, the image button. So image button 1. And then change it to image button 2 and so on for the others. Just so long as I have a way to get at them. And then the source, I'm going to put in the different drawables to make sure that I actually have them set up correctly. So I'm going to do the one PNG, the one.die as the top one, 2 for the second one, and so on, just to make sure that they all work. So the Android source is @ and then drawable, which is one of these, depending on the screen resolution layout, and then 1. And then we do a similar thing for each of the others. So 1.png is the name of my particular file, so you just have to do the 1. So here would be 2 for the 2.die, and 3 for the 3.die. You can use whatever image you want for the dice. You can make it yourself if you want, however you want to do it. This still needs to be linear, because that's what I said down below. So next, I need to do another row for the next set of buttons. So I'm going to do button 4, 5, and 6 for the corresponding things, 4, 5, and 6. And that is the general idea. I still need to do the table rows, do the layout width and height, and the ID. Hopefully you get the idea by now how this works. So there's table row 1. And there's table row 2. All right, so when we look at the graphical layout, this is what it looks like to begin with. Once I have these, the next thing I'd like to do is actually put in regular buttons. So in the example I provided, it looks something like this, where you have the wrap content again with both of them, the text you want to put in. You could put this in as a string. I'm just directly putting mine in, and then the ID of the button. So being the lazy person I am, I'm going to copy and paste because I've done this before. So button 1, and it's going to have roll. I need button 2, which is going to be score, and button 3, which is going to be stop, and that's where you're actually going to total the amount. The final things are the text views, which is where you're actually going to show the scores. So text view 1 is all I need. You can change the text appearance if you want to. I'm using a medium appearance for these. So we're going to have text view 1 is going to have my current score, text view 2 is going to have my total score, text view 3 is going to have my current round. And this is exactly the same as it would be in a J label. So for those of you that are going along and trying to make this yourself, so I finished my button here. Here's my text view 1, current score is what's in the label, medium, text view 2, text view 3. So let's make sure that layout looks decent. There we go. That looks good. So that's how you put the layout together. Next, I'm going to go into how to actually create the activity.